I think we are recording. Test. Okay. What's up, guys? Welcome to my first video. My name is Calysta Tyree. I don't know why you would be watching this if you didn't know who I am, but my name's Calysta and I'm making this video. So I'm making this video on my journey of my job. I got some DMs on my Instagram, and just like I've had a lot of people ask me as I've been going through my journey of working in sports media, of people wanting me to share my story on how I am in the position that I am today. And I'm so, like, honestly humbled. I don't even know why I'm like being asked these questions. Like, I'm like getting invited to speak on panels. Like, I'm, you know, people are asking me like what's my inspiration, like, and that's insane to me. Like, I ask people those questions, like people don't ask me those questions, type of thing. But this is gonna be about how I am, where I am today, and how I got here. Honestly, it's a journey, it's like a story, and I just want to start this off by saying my journey is not a blueprint of steps that like you should follow to get to where I am, because my journey is 100% my journey, as everybody else's journey is theirs. Like, other people that work in sports media, like, they have their own separate journeys different than mine. And this is what, if this is what you want to be in, like, you're gonna pave your own path. So a little background on me. I was raised with these values that embodied whatever you want in life, go after it, make a plan. Like, I remember like my dad like raising me this, like, on this, like, number one, if you have time, if you want something, like, you'll make time for it. And number two, make a plan, and if that doesn't work, have a plan B, and if that doesn't work, have a plan C. So I've just always stuck like with those morals, like, in my head, like knowing that I can achieve anything that I want to achieve. Number one, if I make time for it. Number two, if the plan isn't set for me to do that. And number three, if I work my ass off to do it. Like, that's just how I am in the spot that I am today. Like, and I encourage a lot of people to have the same idea, have the same moral set as me, because it's honestly a successful mindset. Like, I know there's a lot of people that can live day by day and, you know, worry about what today, not worry about tomorrow. But like, I'm worrying about where I'm gonna be next week. I'm worrying about where I'm gonna be next year. Like, always have a plan of knowing like where you're gonna be. Like, that's one thing that I definitely recommend. But anyways, when I was younger, like, sports was always on in my house. Like, baseball season, baseball was on, basketball season, basketball was on, football's on. Like, all the sports were always on in my house. Like, my parents are huge sports people, so there was always sports game on in my household. So naturally, I've gravitated into loving sports. I am a person that loves sports. I can watch any sport, be into it, and I know the players, like, blah blah blah. So watching sports, I eventually noticed like there were these people that got to interview the players after the game. And like, as like a young 8-year-old, 9-year-old, I was just like, those people get to talk to like my favorite people, like my role models, like my like people that I want to grow up and be like. They're talking to them. Like, that's a super cool job. Like, what is that job? Like, I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to know what it was, and I later like figured it was sideline reporting. It's sideline reporting in sports. And from then on, like from 8 years old, I was like, I want to be this. But it was second. That was my second plan. When I also was a soccer player my whole life. Like, if you know me, I played soccer since I was 5 years old until my sophomore year of college. Like, I got recruited to playing like college. Like, I played majority of my young life. So my first dream was to be a professional soccer player, and my second dream, if my plan B, if that didn't work out, was going to be a sideline reporter. So that's what I did. I played my soccer my whole life, did what I did, and then it came time where I'm not playing anymore, therefore I'm not gonna play pro anymore. Like, obviously goes hand in hand. So then it was time for plan B, like going to school as a NARP, essentially, a non-athletic regular person. And it was crazy, to say the least. Like, being on a college campus and not being an athlete was a huge, like, shot to my ego, I guess. Like, everybody just knew me as the girl that played soccer, and now I'm not that person anymore. And it was a huge identity crisis at first, and then I just picked my head up and realized I'm gonna make something new of myself. So that's what I did. After my first year of college, I decided to quit soccer and I decided to move back home. I went to community college for a year where I dove into communication studies, because growing up I was told if I wanted to get into media, sports media, I needed to major in communications in college. So I declared my major as communications at Gavilan College. I received my associate's degree in communication studies within a year there, and I transferred to St. Mary's the following year, my junior year. At St. Mary's, it was like, I describe it as like a flip of a switch. Like, I just decided that it was time to start focusing on my career. It was time to figure out, I had no idea how I was gonna get. I like literally remember sitting in my dorm room doing homework thinking, how the hell am I gonna get to where I want to be? Like, where do I even start? And I then answered it. I found an opportunity to work with athletics at St. Mary's. St. Mary's is Division I school. All the athletics are Division I athletics. So I decided to, there was like this media intern job, and I applied for it and I got it. And my first day, it was in August. August in college sports is soccer season. So I show up for my first day of work. It's soccer season, and my boss is like, can you broadcast? And I was like, what is that? I like had no idea. I've never spoken like on a mic before. I had never, but did I know soccer? Absolutely, I know soccer like the back of my hand. Of course, I played it my whole life. Like I said, and I told her, I said, I know the game. I've never done this before, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So that's literally like the literal moment, a pinpoint of like, that's where my career started. August 2018, St. Mary's College, men's soccer, broadcasting in the game. That's where I started. So if you're in college and you're confused on where to even get started, this is what I've told people. Literally go to your athletics program. There are so many like student job offerings in college athletics that you can help with, and that's where you can get started. So my junior year, I was the play-by-play broadcaster at St. Mary's for men's and women's soccer. I really liked it. And then soccer season ended, and then it was basketball season. And one of my friends, he ended up doing broadcasting for basketball, which was totally fine. Like, I don't think I could broadcast for basketball. And then it came time to learn how to operate a video camera, because if you're not broadcasting, you are live streaming for, like, you know, like if you can like go online and watch sports games. Well, our team did the camera work so that you can like watch online, obviously. So then came me learning how to operate a video camera. These are like all skills that like I'm like literally taking with me like throughout my whole career. Like, did I think that I was ever gonna need to know how to operate a video camera? No. Did I? Absolutely. So that was college basically. I ended up broadcasting. I did color commentary and play-by-play for soccer at St. Mary's. Did a bunch of video work for the athletics too. I really wanted to get into like interviewing after the game, but just it wasn't my time. Obviously, I hadn't done it before. But that stirs in to Pat the Pro. So St. Mary's, obviously men's soccer team, If you play soccer, you know St. Mary's men's soccer team. They one of the best teams in the country for men's soccer team. So I literally was in the hub for men's soccer without even knowing it by transferring to St. Mary's. And so my boss, Eric Bucheri, huge shout out. Eric is my boss at Path to Pro. He's the CEO. And he came to St. Mary's. He was recruiting, he was looking to recruit some guys from the team to either play at a combine, just to like obviously get them knowing about the agency. So he saw me there, and he had been the men's head coach at my first school that I went to at Menlo. So that's how I knew him. Like, we knew each other because I was on the women's team there and he was the men's coach. But like literally, like, there's no contact after I left Menlo. So I saw him at the St. Mary's game, and he was just asking me like, what do you do? And I was just like, oh, I broadcast, trying to get into interviewing, blah blah blah. And he was like, okay, so why don't you come do that for me? And I was like, what? Like, why don't you come do that for Path to Pro? And I was like, 1000%, sign me up, like, I'm down. Like, so he like eventually gave me an intern position that would start January 2020, and that's where everything just goes for me, honestly, 1000%. And I can't thank Path to Pro and Eric enough for this experience, for this exposure that it has given me. Like, I'm blessed, I'm thankful, like 1000%. So fast forward to January 2020, I worked my first combine with Path to Pro. I did sideline reporting. I interviewed 30 plus players in the span of 2 days. That was really fun. I had never interviewed before. I think I like even lied to him. I like lied to him and said that I did interviewing before. And I hadn't. Oh, sorry. If you're Eric, if you're watching this. Obviously it all turned out good. Don't be mad at me. Yeah, I interviewed 30 plus players at the combine, complete rando strangers that like completely took a chance on me, and it ended up being really good. I did a really great job. I got really great content, and my position at the time was media intern and sideline reporter. So I like was interviewing, and then I'd go and edit, and then I'd get them ready to be posted on the Instagram and like the Twitter and stuff for Path to Pro. And then that was my first combine, and then eventually like the pandemic hit. Oh no, where? So my first combine, I was just walking around doing my interviews, and my boss Eric is standing like just literally like buddy with a bunch of pro teams like that could literally like offer me a job if they really wanted to. And he was standing with Tommy Hodel, who is now next person of the puzzle, is one of the co-founders of the Oakland Roots, who is my professional team that I work for, if you follow me on everything. So I eventually he introduced me to Tommy. Eric was like, Calysta does this, Calysta does that, like if you need a person like that, I suggest you hire her. And Tommy was just like, all right, I like, I'll see. And like he was just like, I just met him, like introduced myself, and then I like went on with my day. Like a few weeks after the combine, he had DM'd me on Twitter, and he was like, so we talked at the combine, I'm like interested in what you have to offer, can we like talk, like want to like basically like interview me. 100%. January 20th, I literally like remember the day because it's engraved in my it's engraved, like it was like one of the like best days of my life. He interviewed me and he offered me the position. I was going to be the sideline reporter for the Oakland Roots, a professional soccer team. Literally a month, like not even a month into working in this industry, like it went boom boom. So I was going to be interviewing for the pro team, and I was going to be broadcasting for the affiliate team, Project 510, which, like I said, my journey is not a blueprint. This usually I don't know how it happened. I don't. Is my content great? I know my work that I do, that I give, that I show is amazing. Absolutely. I put my all into my work. If it has my name on it, it has to be perfect. That's just how I am. Does it make sense that it went that fast? No. But like, do I know that my work is good enough for it to go that fast? Absolutely. So Path to Pro combines are in January and in the summer so far. There's only 2. 1 or 2 a year basically. So January ended and went back to school. Obviously it was in my senior year. Was still doing stuff like St. Mary's Media and stuff, and then I started with the Roots a couple weeks later. The first home game, that was an experience of a lifetime. My first game with the Roots, I will never forget it. I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I like literally was like stumbling over my words as I was practicing. But it was amazing. Like, the atmosphere in Oakland is uncomparable, honestly. Like, and I've been to a lot of professional soccer games, and like just the vibes and the energy that I get when I'm at Laney College is, it was heartwarming. Like, it was like a huge, like the community and like the club itself, like literally like knew it was my first day, and like just hugging me from afar. Like, I don't know, it was great. And I went on to work 2 games, and then the pandemic hit. And this is like where the story gets sad, obviously. So everybody knows that a lot of people lost a lot of jobs in this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic, and I was one of them. From one day I had the world, and then the next day it was gone, essentially. And it was rough. I felt like my career was peaking. I was like on my game, and then it was gone within the night. And it was so rough. So rough. And I was just like paying rent and like not knowing where like my next paycheck was gonna come in from, and like it was a rough time, 1000%. But then Eric, my Path to Pro boss, was just like, we have a combine this summer. And I was just like, oh, like a new hope, like something to look forward to. Like, that's the type of person that I am. Like, I always want something to look forward to. And we had a summer combine, and I obviously wanted anything and everything to do with that summer combine. I was like, just give me everything. Like, I want to do this, I want to do that. Like, just give me whatever you can. Like, I want to be a part of something. Like, I was stripped of everything within a night. Like, give me everything that you have. So he did. I was in charge of like COVID tests. Like, all of our players, all of our stuff had to get tested. Like, he like put me in charge of like making sure that our guys were getting tested and stuff. I did it, so I couldn't interview in person just because like safety regulations. Like, everybody needs to be safe. So I did an interview series on YouTube and Instagram where I would just Zoom interview players, and I had 5 or 6 players that I did throughout the course of the summer. Like, every other week I was interviewing a new player, and that was super fun. I really got into editing, and obviously when you're Zooming, you have to edit content, so that's where I really learned how to edit videos and stuff like that, and like how to grab music and do all that stuff. That's why I'm able to do highlight videos. We're not there yet. So summertime, did my interview series, and then the combine came, and I did broadcasting. Being recorded, our combine was being like live streamed, so I broadcasted along with my partner Charles Woolen, who is also with the Roots. We broadcasted that. That was fun. It was a long day, but it was fun. 6 games, non-stop broadcasting, like just talking about soccer. You would think like that's the best job in the world, but it gets tiring, let me tell ya. But yeah, that was a really great experience. Fast forward a few weeks after, Eric texts me. He's like, so I think I'm gonna promote you. And I was like, He's like, I think you're already doing all this stuff. I think I trust you the most. You're producing this, you're doing this, like, I'm gonna promote you. And that is where I got my title of Director of Media and PR for Path to Pro Soccer. So that's where I am. I'm Director of Media and a silent reporter. Within my director, like, I'm in everything media. Like, I'm podcasting, I'm obviously on social media, I'm creating content, I'm making highlight videos for our players, like corresponding with obviously professional teams, like to get our players exposure, like, and now we're creating a women's combine for this January. Like, I'm like in the process of creating a women's combine, brand new women's combine within Path to Pro, which then will lead to us signing women's players, get them to the next level. Like, putting my foot in change is how I see it. Because we all know women in sports and how we're treated. Especially in our country, women's soccer players aren't valued as much as men's players, and that's, don't argue with me on it, it's the truth. So the fact that I'm a part of something that's gonna allow for a women's soccer player to reach her dreams of playing at the next level just warms my heart. It makes me really happy. And I'm breaking barriers myself. I'm 22 years old, and if you would have asked me at 18 what I would be doing at 22, definitely wouldn't have said this. It's crazy. Like, my boyfriend told me, like, he's told me, like, trust the process. You really do have to trust the process with these things. Like, you have to use your connections, you have to use what you do best, like, and be proud of yourself. Be proud of whatever work that you have done. Be proud of that. Advocate for your stuff and put your head down and do the hard work to succeed. That's all it is. Like I said, this is just my journey. This is just my journey. It's crazy. I don't even believe it's my journey, to be honest. It's a blessing. And anybody else can do it. Some people have it easier, some people have it harder, but you can do it. If you set your mind to anything, you can do it. And that's my story. Thank you guys for honestly, like, the interest in my story. Like, who would have thought? Who would have thought? But yeah, I'm Calysta, and this is it. This is my story. Thanks guys for listening, and we will see if I make more videos, but from now on, thank you. Thank you for listening. Okay, bye. Malia, I like feel awkward because I know you can hear me.
You want me to close the door?
Are you gonna judge me?
Well, I'm gonna see it eventually, aren't I?
I know, but are you gonna judge me?
I'm gonna judge you. Why would I judge you?